is often famine. And the end time will be no different. The only difference is that the famine will be far more severe and involve far more people. The end times will see an intensification of all the terrible suffering that's known to man. Note 2 points. This rider, the Antichrist, has a set of scales to measure out the wheat.
Right.
Wheat or barley was the basic food for people in John's day. Note that it took a penny to buy a measure of wheat, that is about a quart. And then that's a pence, a denarium, and then a penny to buy 3 measures of barley. A penny was about a day's work. So you spend your whole day's work on food. But what about all the other things? That just show you the poverty that would be going on during that period of time. The rider controls the food distribution. You got to go through him to get it. And when we get to the 7th and the 8th chapters of Revelation, it gets deeper into that.
You know, Brother Pastor, about 15 years ago in Venezuela, when Chavez was president down there, you know, he owned all these Vallejo service stations and everything. But, you know, they had food and everything was so plentiful. But now on TV, they got all those people starving and waiting and getting no food and everything. And then when they go into the grocery store, the shelves empty, but a loaf of bread or something like that is probably where it used to probably be a 25, 30 cents, it's probably $20 now, you know. I mean, it's on TV every day now.
Right.
That's the way it is.
And you see, we are set up for that right now. Ain't nobody raising nothing that they can eat. No. And with the highway distribution, you know, if they would block off, if Trump built a wall on 29, 35, Interstate 70, and 35, we started there.
They have all that's in a bunch right in Wyandotte County.
It'd be almost, it's just like when they announce a storm is coming in.
Yep.
And if the weatherman convinced us it's gonna pretty, it might have you shut down for 2 or 3 days. We go to the grocery store and we buy everything in the store.
Yeah.
And then to top that off, when you think about it, you don't have, just like if you cut off that 635 and 7 and a couple of hours, you don't have no high V's or anything in there. So
that's so true.
So we
got one or two price shops. You got price shops.
That's so true. That's so true.
Yes, we'll show nothing to it.
You sure right. That's
now
so right.
They sent out an announcement. I don't know how many, how widely it went out, that they're gonna be having a meeting soon about putting the grocery store in the inner city.
Inner city, yeah.
Did any of you get that notice?
Yeah. I did.
And that they want you to come to this meeting.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why they're having such a hard time getting a grocery store in the downtown inner city area, they did a survey. The average income for that general area was about $13,000 a year. And so an investor, it's a, you know, it ain't no money down there. And then they've had all kind of proposals where people have said that that they were on board. But then when they check in, when they check out the income for the area, they back out.
But another thing too is in the future, if black people is to survive, we got to learn how to do things from an economic point of view.
Sure, right about it.
It's just like we got to learn how. See, we think when they put I remember they had Super Duper and everything, but we think that's their store, but that's our store. Because if that store is not there, then you got to go to Johnson County or somewhere. And so just like now, we are jumping out of a car and go everywhere when we have a big store or something. I feel so sad when I go down to Douglas Bank, down there. It's the only black bank western Mississippi. Now, any community you go to in the United States that's making any kind of prosperity, you see banks.
Banks everywhere. You sure right about it.
But people talk about Douglas Bank, but Mac, I know he doesn't. I've been banking there for 50 years.
Yeah.
and it's just, they'll get mad if they charge them. If your account go low and you write some bad check, they're going to penalize you in any bank.
Yeah.
You know, we get mad with them and quit.
Yeah.
But we need the one thing you need to do is to have a bank. If you don't have a bank in your community,
That's true.
then you're not going to be able, it's hard for you to survive. Hard for people to start business and having a place to
But you see, we got a problem with trading with each other.
It's
Right,
true.
you got that
Doing
problem
business,
too.
period.
And and for this reason, it's hard for any business to survive in our community.
It's the truth.
Yeah, right, that's true.
It's the truth.
It's, you know.
Then we have a problem of running our mouth, bad mouth.
Oh yeah, and then too, they even when people come into the community, they say that we steal so much it runs them out of it. And they closed up that dollar store, you know, there on
By
27th
Yeah.
Street.
Right.
Fair.
And then he said the gentleman that running that, he said, you know, they just come in there and kids get out of school and they get 8 or 10 of them, 15 of them come in there, and then next thing they know, you know, they leave out with candy and everything.
They're taking discipline out of the homes and
then
schools.
you know, then two people do.
They can do any and everything they want.
They make things, they lie a lot too.
They don't have any
They make
respect.
it worse than it is.
Right.
Actually, we don't.
That's
They should have police protection. People shouldn't be able to steal.
Right.
But when something like that, you got to look at the fact that they put that other one up there on Leavenworth Road.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As soon as they put it up there, and it opened up, then this one went out.
Yeah.
But that one, I used to go in it sometime, and it had most of what I could see. There's a lot of black people in there, but a lot of Mexicans was going in there too, because you have an increasing amount of Mexicans moving in.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you're speaking of banks, now the bank at 38th Street, now it's almost a Mexican bank.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bank of America.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bank of America.
And
Bank
then
of America.
the bank down on 7th Street at Central,
Yeah.
it's almost
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mexican.
That's
It
it.
is.
You're right.
Mhm.
And but now one thing about Mexican, they trade with each other.
Yeah.
Central. Yeah.
They support each other.
They support one another.
But you know, I don't know. We got some. I don't know.
Why is that?
We're different people. I don't
Slave
know.
mentality. Big cow.
because I know when I was in business, you know that you, great. You know, it was 3 years before even my brother would even buy any insurance from me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
I
a
hope
trip.
not, 'cause I don't,
Well, you know, when I came to Kansas City, I didn't know God got me up here, but since I was here, as I look back on my life, you know, at first I didn't know, but it was my ministry to help people start business. See, that's one of the hardest things for black people to do. They get started in business.
Yeah.
And while I was up there, you know, I had 4 acres up there, but while I was there, we started, to the best of my count, 47 different businesses. You know, Wilson Grocery and Doug Lawnmower, and just a whole bunch of them, you know, over the years, you know. And some of them still going, you know.
Yeah.
But one of the hardest things is for black people to get started in business.
Yeah.
You know.
True.
Yeah.
Because see, it's a funny thing. If you got a beauty supply, just like we did have Mickey, a beauty supply, but even the black women, now when they get ready to go in the store, unless your store has look just as good and got just cleaner prices, I mean good prices, as people that never had to undergo some of the problems that we had to undergo.
Right.
You know what I mean? We failed to do business with them.
Yeah.
As the Polish people and different people now, they'll stick with their people.
It's true. Jews
You know,
stick with Jews. Everybody stick
right,
with their people.
right.
But
They'll
but
pay.
our own.
Yeah, they'll pay more for the lettuce, a little bit more for the lettuce or whatever, you know. Right.
All right.
people don't have
Now, then I wanted to get to at least to the fourth seal. When it's open, the horseman that comes off of it. This is verse 7 and 8. The appearance of a pale horse and its rider. The Amplified New Testament translates the word pale as ashy, pale horse, black and blue, as if it had been bruised. Remember, now when this rider, he's still the Antichrist. He has a name, and that name is of death. And sitting right behind him is hell, or Hades, which is the realm of the dead. His very name announces that some terrible devastation is about to be set loose upon the earth. This rider is given power to cause unbelievable pain and suffering. He is personally responsible for killing 1/4 of the people on earth. Unbelievable. How can one rider possibly kill 1/4 of the people? Now, this rider, he has the sword can help to kill that many people. That is war and genocide by deliberately setting a policy to destroy certain races or groups of people. He's going to use hunger and starvation. It can help to kill many people. That is, the rider can starve people and cause famine due to war and rationing of food. It says that it's going to come pestilence. Pestilence can help to kill that many people. That is germ warfare. And the diseases that result from the unsanitary condition of refugee and concentration camps, and from war and genocide. In other words, they turn loose germs, just like, for instance, flu is one now that we
Measles.
measles cause any number of people.
Or water was done in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah, the water. That's another one. That's because we're gonna always have to have
Mosquitoes.
water, and they can increase the mosquito population.
Well, they got the mosquitoes.
They carry the
They
germ.
kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, from Brazil.
And then at this point in time, wild beasts were left to kill many people. That is, due to war and the transplanting of people, billions of people, especially children, will be homeless. This ride is responsible for exposing people to the beasts of the forest and the jungles, who will be just as hungry and insane from the lack of food as people will be. And then you go running out there and
You're hearing about animals that have never, ever done anything, you know, like the hippopotamus that got the woman last week, and the rhinoceros that got the 2 little children the other. You never heard about these animals. It's like, you know, God's lifting his mercy, his grace off where, you know, these animals are now in full prey. You know, it was a day that you never heard of that kind of stuff.
yeah. Now if you notice, when the Lord sent the children of Israel into when they went into the promised land, there had to be a certain number of people in the land before, if not, then the beast would eat them, would harm them. See, it's amazing how God has this thing
He got it designed.
set up and designed.
You're right about it.
And even though man has dominion over,
Right.
but now you don't just go out in an area that's unpopulated where animals
Wild
are and
beasts,
expect them to not
Become
to
friends.
bother you.
Right.
Well, it's
Right.
not many. I've seen last.
There has to be a balance.
Leave him alone.
There has to be a balance. And when that balance is kept, then you're protected.
Right.
But if you fall beneath that balance, then you become the prey to hunt it.
I've seen a couple of nights on TV over in Siberia. I think it was Siberia, Russia. It showed where it was about a whole bunch of about 50 or 60 polar bears that came up on the people. You know,
Yeah.
somebody else might have seen it on TV too. Just for white polar bear.
Yeah.
They came up. They said that's the first time they
Ever happened.
that happened. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because people moved out of that area, just one or two people. Yeah.
Yeah, that family who I know you all saw that on the news during the summer, where the family built their house out there sort of in the country, and the bear had his whole family in the swimming pool.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They were out there playing with the ball and everything.
Yeah, he said, you can come over here if you want to.
But what's so thing they showed, like you were saying, I don't know where these barrels came from, but it was a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
It was right over in Missouri somewhere. They found a great big old tiger in a cage in this house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
You
did
saw
see
that?
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, we begin to see evidence of these things.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's true.
Begin to see evidence of
So true. So
They're talking
true.
about, I think it was on this morning on the news or last night, where the polar bears are taking over some place.
Yeah, that was up here.
That's what
That's
he's
what I'm
talking
talking
about.
about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
what he's
it
talking
showed it,
about.
but it was.
I was pointing
I
out.
never seen it like that's about.
Yeah,
If you can imagine, about 50, 100 big polar bears.
you can have it. Yeah.
This was way over in Russia. It was
That's
in
right.
Russia. I remember what that
There you
That's
go.
what you're seeing. You're seeing animals.
That's right.
Animals that we normally see. We see animals that is bigger now. Alligators, bears, even the blackbird is bigger
Big, yes indeed.
than what he was.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot of that.
I've seen a whole lot of them the other day. Sunday, matter of fact.
What, black?
Them black crows.
Yeah.
Oh, they get
Yeah, I mean, they
man,
was
they
filled
just
up in
roll.
the tree. I mean, there was a lot of them.
Yeah, you see, well, they got a job.
Yes, they
And they multiply.
And they know the time is coming pretty soon.
Pooping on your car, that's all they do.
They got a big banquet. God's got preparing it for them, and their job is going to be to clean up the earth. And they're getting ready.
I got something.
The vultures. This is normally a bird that lay one egg, but they say over in Israel and areas like that now, they begin to lay 2 and 3 eggs.
Is that right? Oh, okay.
They're increasing, getting ready. So it lets us know, that the time is near, but not yet. Jesus says that we'll have some warnings. These kind of things will begin to happen. But the time is near, but not yet.
Not yet.
The fig tree.
Yeah. And there's no time frame in between for you or I to know when that time is up.
Right. That's only, Jesus said, I don't even know that. That's in the hands of the Father.
Yes.
But we do know that, the way things is going is that, he's going to have to come back soon. Because we almost at a point now where we almost, you're not saved anymore.
But you're seeing the evidence of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth. And so, that this about the greatest book there is in the Bible when it comes to you don't have to be a fortune teller. Just read the Word of God, and it lets you know. And most people don't want to read that book.
That's true.
And another thing too, you notice that even like you said a little bit earlier, in the homes, the church, everywhere seemed to be trouble, confusion, misunderstanding. Right.
Yeah.
And the hurting thing about that is we don't have the answer. We think we have the answers, or we think we can solve these problems, but we don't have the answer for them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's the ride on the red horse. Take the piece from there. And it's just about gone. Yeah. Well, that's why we got to smile more.